Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game number 1 from the ladder. So it's just this one game, it's not a best of 3 or 5 or whatever, anything you want to call it. I am back from a nice weekend away, I'm relaxed, I'm fresh, I'm stoked because this week yet again, I'm going to be casting WCS EU Challenger with Penguin. That starts on Tuesday, so make sure you check it out. It's going to be like sensationally brilliant and fantastic, and there'll be rainbows and unicorns and everything that you could possibly want. But for now, going to be casting this game. It should be a good bit of fun. Deadless Point ZVP, which is going to be awesome because I like casting games like this where people just don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, spawning up in the top left-hand position as the red Protoss player representing SK Telecom, PartinG. And his opponent down to the bottom right, the blue Zark player representing LMNT, Zark. Both are GM players, both are pretty stoked, both are pretty happy. I'm really hyperactive. Before casting this, I've been listening to some very loud music on a long drive, and the playlist was sensational. If you're wondering what that playlist involved, you should check out my stream, twitch.tv/Madals, because it's my stream playlist. I love it so much, I listen to it even when I'm not streaming. Unless I could stream in my car, which would be kind of cool and would make me very happy. For the moment, things looking alright in this game, nothing too crazy going on. Gateway expand coming down here from PartinG. Who can blame him? Because this is the largest ramp ever. This ramp is so big that you could actually fit a small planet through it. You could fit Pluto in there. That's how big that gap is. And before any smartasses in the comment section go, well, Pluto's not a planet. Pluto was a planet when I was growing up. And therefore, in my mind, Pluto will forever be a planet, okay? It's like your high school sweetheart. You're like, even if you find out 10 years later that she's become morbidly obese and had her face bitten off by an alligator or something, you'll still remember her as your high school sweetheart or whatever. Same as this. Pluto, definitely your planet. Pluto was my high school sweetheart. I love Pluto. Pluto's such a brilliant planet. Anyway, I digress. Cybernetics core, natural base coming down over here for the Zark player, not too much else to talk about really. So this is all going fairly good times. Of course, big shout out as well to the awesome people at Plantonics Gaming. I'm pleased to be able to announce that I have renewed my sponsorship with them. They are awesome. They support esports, they support StarCraft 2, and they help make my daily casts possible. So please do me and them a favor and go and support them at PLT Gaming_UK on Twitter. That would be sweet. I've linked it on my Twitter account, so you can just check it on there. And yeah, it made my day if you go and give them a follow and say like, I followed you because of Madals. I use one of their headsets to cast, so it's pretty sweet. Anyway, Nexus coming down now. A couple of Zerglings bounding their way across the map. Mothership core nearly out, will be able to hold them off, and not too much in the way of aggression coming out here from Zark. And that's because Zark had an Overlord in position to keep a good little peek on when this natural base was coming down, what this natural base would be doing, and basically knows his opponent's going to have enough to defend and shouldn't be in too much problems. However, PartinG, he is still so vulnerable to a big push in here because this base is so hard to hold. There's like two chains of thought. First chain of thought is trying to wall this off, but it's not going to work. You need like 3 Nexus to be able to do that. Or you can go for PartinG's approach. Block off through here, put a cannon up around here in the middle field somewhere, and a cannon back here, and then you can pretty much defend most of the stuff. Mothership core having to come back to deal with this Zergling that's just being a bit of a pain. Maybe going to kill on the probe though backing away to safety, and PartinG showing some great control even early in this game. The Zergling unfortunately is going to die, gets killed pretty disastrously by some kind of lasers or plasma charges, whatever you want to call it. What is it that a photon overcharge? Repulsor cannon. I'm not quite sure if that's like, I'm not quite sure what that is, to be honest, but someone will know all about the lore and will leave me a comment telling me. Now, Roach1 coming down here is what I'd be expecting. Zark is like, hey, this is Deadless Point. Look at all this space. My roaches, they can come just chilling up here, around the side, and then position themselves here, and then go, vroom, straight in, kill everything, and then PartinG's in problems. So, it's quite likely to be seeing a good number of roaches coming through. It could also be defensively. It's not necessarily going to be aggressive, but if we take a look, it's whether we get any drones coming out, and we're not. We're getting lava banked up. 10 lava there, so this is going to be a big roach rush. Now, probably 10 roaches pumped out as quickly as Zark can. Ooh, no, he's not going to. He's now starting some drones up. Okay, that's very interesting. Very interesting on why he kept those. Unless he was expecting a push. of his own, because he saw a couple of additional gateways coming through, so he knew there was going to be 4 gates. Checked into the main, hasn't seen any more. There we go, coming out with these roaches now. This is very funky, everything that I'm seeing right now. Just the timings are a little bit, not quite making too much sense. It could be from what he's seen that this isn't going to be an all-on aggressive play. It's just 4 gates coming out. And I think the way PartinG is approaching Daedalus Point, really smart. Getting these 4 gates out and using them defensively. Actually a really good decision. Yes, it puts you slightly behind, but it means that you can actually defend against pushes into your natural, which is so likely to come, and that's why this map isn't particularly great for a Protoss player. 7 roaches though, they're coming across the map, they're going to run straight past Labbot. Labbot's going to be like, yo, hey roaches, just happily chilling there, hoping not to die. Other than that though, third base coming down from PartinG, and taking your third base early isn't the biggest deal, because this, honestly, isn't much harder to defend than this, so, yeah, just got another base, another backup, everything should be good for you. Of course, you've got the robotics facility and the forge now finished up. The Robo probably going to get taken out here. These roaches just going to be able to pick it off. Cancel will come down. That's annoying. Just delays tech a little bit, but not by a huge amount. These 3 sentries, though, aren't in a good position. Force fields instantly coming down. Those ninja force fields so fast. We'll be able to trap a good number of these roaches. A few sentries still trying to back away. One more does die, unfortunately, which is never what you want to see. But, well, for the moment, 3 sentries, I believe, have been killed. 4 there. So 4 sentries in exchange for 7 roaches. Quite a good trade. Getting those down nice and fast is going to be very effective. The third base also scouted. So for 7 roaches, I think this is a very nice trade for Zark. PartinG, though, while his tech was delayed a little, he's still got +1 on its way down. He's getting out a photon cannon, and obviously his third base is looking pretty secure. It's also coming down a lot sooner, or around the same time as that of Zark's, and getting a third at the same time as your Zerg opponent is going to make any Protoss player happy. Nearly as happy as getting 10 Dark Templar into a Zerg's base when they have no detection. That is the second happiest thing that could ever happen to a Protoss player. So, in come a couple of Stalkers now. They're going to poke and prod. There isn't much in the way of defense. 10 roaches are down, 12 more in production, and this is a big reaction from Zark. He's like, I invested a lot in that push. Not much came through, so I better be careful. PartinG pulling back, activating Guardian Shield just to soak up some of that range damage coming from the roaches. Roaches repositioning, trying to get in between the hatchery, just to basically back away, ready to get into a better attack arc, which they have now achieved. A good concave time warp being utilized, but down come the force fields. The Stalkers trap a good group of roaches, 4 of them instantly taken down for no losses on PartinG sides. That's the sort of trade he wants. Another nice time warp, slowing the reinforcements coming through, segregating small groups of these roaches, take them out in bite-sized chunks, but roaches coming up from the top now, attempting to go for the surround. A couple of sentries going down, there's no more force fields, and the Stalkers, though, are able to dish out some good damage. Numbers are currently on PartinG's side. He's able to take out that spine crawler. The Queen's even getting into the battle now. It's all looking good. Just the lack of force fields that could be a problem for PartinG, but the roach numbers just aren't there yet. If PartinG, though, loses his force, he's not really out of it yet. He's forced so many units out, and he just needs to be aware that a counterattack could be coming in, but still microing back well, keeping these Stalkers alive for as long as possible, keeping this army down low. Back at home, PartinG, he's only sitting at 4 gates at the moment. +1 has kicked in. +1 missile attack also finished now for Zark. Zark looking to just go and really finish off this push, but PartinG knows he's not going to hold from the next wave of a lava production, so he's just backing away, keeping some army up. His robotics facility, well, the first one getting restarted now after he was cancelled a lot earlier, so tech-wise, PartinG's quite far behind. However, he's got a solid economy. He's up at 65 probes to just 47 drones. He's massively ahead economically compared to Zark, and if he can hold this, Zark is in huge amounts of problems. You cannot deal with a Protoss player that's getting this far ahead economically long term. So he's got to do some damage, he's got to try and pick something off, but just being indecisive here. Retreats back, knows that actually with Photon Overcharge, with a couple of warpins, PartinG can defend this, so he's got to try and play the long game, getting the Hydralisk Den down. Couple of Hydras, Roach Hydra going to be very strong, especially since there isn't any splash. He saw that this robotics facility is very late. Yes, could be the second one, unlikely though. PartinG adding in a War Prism is his first unit from that though, so is going to be looking at making his way forward. Probably going to be putting on a bit more pressure, and that's why we're seeing more roaches come down here now from Zark. But what we really want to see is some Hydralisks from him. If he wants to hold off this army, he needs their DPS. He's got enough tankiness, but boy, he needs to dish out that damage too. For the moment, he doesn't have that. Good time warp coming down from PartinG. Going to allow him to get a couple of free roaches now. Continues on the chase. Blink is not yet done. so they can't aggressively move forward as of yet. Down come the Hydralisks, seeing not a single Colossus or any splash damage. That is what, of course, Hydras are vulnerable to. Storms and splash from Colossi. So as long as that's not there, Ling Hydra would actually be a great composition, but not in this situation due to +1 missile attack being done. Roach Hydra is superior just because of the upgrade usage. But PartinG applying pressure once again. The defensive concave getting pre-made at the moment from Zark. He's ready to engage into this army, minimizing the effectiveness of force fields. But PartinG probably isn't going to go until at least Blink is done. I don't think he'll wait for +2 just because the timing wouldn't be that nice. But Blink now still 20 seconds away, so not the ideal time to engage. The Hydras low in number though, not dishing out that much damage, but a great concave at the moment from Zark. He's maximizing the DPS. More reinforcements coming through. The Stalker count dwindling. Out goes the Mothership Core. That War Prism should also get taken down quickly to prevent more reinforcements, and PartinG has no choice but to retreat now. Blink is finished, but that was a great defense from Zark. Such a good concave. He's forcing the Protoss player back, but more reinforcements coming through. This is a good number of Stalkers. Blink available, so micro potential is significantly higher. But still just so much Zerg chasing this down. The drone count now 66 up against 73 probes. PartinG still looking solid on the economical front, but he's just trying to back away with these Stalkers. Zark chasing him though. This is buying PartinG time back at home. He's able to start producing some Immortals, getting some more Warpins through. He just wants all the time he can possibly muster. The longer it goes on, the better it gets for him in terms of being able to defend a counter push. No sign of any splash though from PartinG at the moment. At the moment, he's just adding on a couple more gateways. He's already sitting up at 8. That takes him to 10. 10 gates off of 3 bases is fine, but there's no splash. So he's got to be looking at, okay, I hope he doesn't get too many Lings and Hydras out, especially when there aren't any force fields either to start zoning this. The sentry count is at 0. Not a single force field there, only Stalkers, and now we have the engagement. Zark trying to spread round. He doesn't have that many units, but he's got to have a good concave. The Immortal at the front will go down. That saves those Roaches a bit of DPS, but so many Stalkers, such good blinks, and PartinG is able to push back the Zerg swarm for the moment. The Hydralisks attempting to retreat. Once they get onto creep, they should be able to do so. With the Observer there, PartinG's going to be knocking out those creep tumors nice and quick. 4th base only just now coming down for Zark, and interestingly, getting a Spire. And the reason that's interesting is because he knows there's a lot of Blink Stalkers, and that seems to be what PartinG is spending all of his money on. And therefore, Blink Stalkers are a fairly effective way to pick up small numbers of Mutalisks. Yes, if there's like 35 Mutas, Blink Stalkers don't trade that well. But in small numbers, especially in a transition, unless you've got a huge amount of gas banked up, it's not going to work too well. But in comes Zark, trying to defend this. Not very many units here, and PartinG just pushing on through. Blink Micro is very good, keeping those Stalkers alive, keeping the DPS up. Another wave of Warpins from that War Prism, and offensive Blink forward. GG is called, and Zark goes down to PartinG with that relentless Blink Stalker aggression, showing that great control, that amazing micro. PartinG's ABM, though, I'll actually bring it back up on screen, is up and near 500 during that engagement. So he is playing incredibly efficiently, and that's just where he can pull ahead. He got a good economy, and even though he was lacking that splash damage, was able to drive on home for that win. If you enjoyed the cast, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, New Games Out Daily. You like the video because, hey, you like it, right? And 3, check out my Twitter, @Madals91, and of course my sponsors, Plantonics Gaming. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye for now.